we're here now, and that's the main thing.
Yes.
That's what can happen on live chat. So, yeah, first I'll just introduce us, and then we'll sort of get cracking. So,
Cool.
hi everyone again. So this is episode 5 of Quarantine Fitness and Life, and this is pretty much a platform I've created to sort of help people understand what they could do in terms of improving their physical fitness during these quarantine times, but also just to sort of chat about other things that are going on in these sort of situations, because it's not an easy time for anyone, and there's more to life than just fitness. It's also our mental health and everything like that. So any questions you guys have, write these down as we're chatting. We'll look to try and address these as we have the chat as well. So today I've got my guest here all the way from Florida. So because you've actually not been on my channel before, I'd just like you to sort of explain who you are, what you do as a job, and sort of where you're from, and then we can get cracking.
All right, so I'm Danny Cavallaro. That's my name. I go to school in Springfield, Massachusetts, but everything actually went online. So I came here for spring break, and then I ended up just staying here, finished online, and now I'm really just trying to dial down on my online fitness. I'm a personal trainer, NASM certified, and I worked in gyms previously, but really I see growth in the online business. So since this quarantine started, I usually when I was in school, it would be a side hustle type of thing, but I've really been trying to dial down on it. Hop on podcasts like this, help out more people, be more consistent with content. I'm 20 years old, and I'm trying to strive, and that online platform, this is where I really see it going in the future, and I think we're both taking advantage of it. So
yeah, no, brilliant introduction. Thanks for that, Danny, as well. So yeah, basically Danny and I are pretty much in the same space here, and I think that especially with these lockdown times, trying to actually make the most of the talents that we have.
Yeah.
This is what we sort of need to do in this situation. So with that, Danny, I mean, considering that we don't really have access to gyms, and some people might not even necessarily have a lot of gym equipment, I mean, what have you specifically been doing to try and keep yourself in shape during these times?
So I like cardio. I know a lot of people will think of cardio and they don't like the running aspect. They don't really biking, whatever. But when I'm in cardio mode, I could kind of focus on something else. When we're in the weight room, I feel like it's all mind to muscle. I really got to pay attention to, what I'm doing. But if I'm just running, biking, I could kind of just think about like more of my why instead of focusing on my muscles and just getting through the workout better. So I've been trying to run a lot more, bike a lot more, and even just like being creative. I know if you watch my content, it's all about creativity. When you talk about we don't have the machines anymore, we don't have the dumbbells, so it's more body weight, definitely, more cardio integrated, like hit max, high intense interval training, things like that, and then just switching it up day by day so it doesn't get boring, really.
Yeah, and that's really the sort of thing about this. I think we actually need to go back to actually how to actually train rather than trying to use the machines or the weights to do it for us. Because I think this is what a lot of people are getting lost in their training, because they just use the machines to do the thing for it, so they just go through the motions.
Right.
But we can't really do that when we're at home, because we need to actually understand, okay, how do I actually use my chest? How do I actually use my back? How do I use these things, especially when I don't have specific weights to help me do this? I mean, what type of things in terms of the creative aspects, like what type of things have you done? I mean, do you do things like, do you do like press ups with having a backpack with books in it, or what type of things do you try and do that might sort of help people?
So I've been trying to use platforms. If you can find a bench, a chair, using squatting in a chair, or maybe keeping your legs up on a chair and doing push-ups, like a decline push-up, things like that. But again, it's really more body weight for me. You could definitely use a backpack, putting a backpack for push-ups, or putting a backpack for if you're doing lunges or squats. All that is great. Just keeping things, diverse, using equipment that can be actually useful. things like that. But again, more kind of body weight, platforms. Yeah, that's about it. Jump rope, resistance bands are big. Like those small investments that you can make at maybe on Amazon even,
Yep.
they could last you a long time with a lot of creative workouts.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I would agree with pretty much what Danny sort of said there. I mean, body weight is really the key here, but making that little investment in resistance bands or even things like ankle weights
Yeah,
or that you can then even put in your arm, then you can do even bicycles or even just a small dumbbell set that doesn't need
exactly.
to clog up your arm. These little things can get you by when you're doing this because even me myself, all I've got is just like a tricep bar. So it's just pretty much just a bar that you use to basically sort of work your triceps. You can maybe do some back exercise with it as well. But that's all I have here. Most of my stuff is pure body weight exercise, and that's what I'm using to maintain and still develop my physique during these times. So we can still get a great workout done at home. We just need to understand what it is that we sort of need to do in this sort of regard. So for you, Daniel, what would you generally say for people if they say, well, how do I really train at home? I mean, should I focus on reps? Should I focus on more sets? I mean, what the thing is, this is opening a big box here, but in general, what type of things would you say people really need to actually focus more on just to make sure that they can get a good workout?
Yep, that's a good question. So I feel like during this whole thing with a lot of people asking me, I feel like it's going to be harder for people to put on mass because with mass becomes you need more weight to for that stimulus for your body, and that's where the dumbbells come into play, the barbells, and we don't really have that. So the thing that I do is if we don't have the equipment, we don't have the machines, up the reps, because you're gonna burn out push-ups. You're not going to have, the 200, 225 that you're lifting, but you're going to have your body weight and you could go up in reps. So it's more about, so it might be a challenge for some people to really build, if that's their goal, but you could still translate that with nutrition and help out with nutrition. But as for workouts, definitely upping the reps would be big. Circuits are a big one that I have been incorporating. Circuit training with resistance bands or push-ups, things like that. So yeah, like in what you said, probably upping the rep count is a big factor of these quarantine workouts, if you want to call them that.
Yeah, and I would agree with that in the sense that yes, it is harder to build muscle when you're not in a gym setting, but let's
Right.
go back to how is it that we actually build muscle. Muscle's built when we put the muscles under a stress that it's currently not used to, and we do that repeatedly.
Mm.
So if someone's, let's say, not used to doing much push-ups or they're not that great at them,
That
then
would
just
definitely help.
being able to do 10 push-ups, that will build muscle for them. Then let's say the week after they're able to do, let's say, 11, then the week after they're able to do 12.
Right. They can progress like that, for sure.
They are building muscle, but then in the stage of, okay, let's say that person can do, let's say, about 20 reps. Do they then do 21? The thing is then, there's other things that we can do. We can slow down the reps that we're actually doing. So instead of just going 1, 2, we can slowly go down and then slowly go back up. And what that does, that's what we call time under tension.
Yep.
So if we slow down our reps like that, that is almost akin to us almost like getting a bigger dumbbell for our bench pressing, or if it's our squats, we slowly go downwards and then slowly come up. So these are little tricks that we can actually use to manipulate our repetition. So as Danny said, we can do more reps, but we can also slow down the reps that we're doing, and that will make it more challenging and give the body a new stress, and it's that stress that's going to help us build muscle. And is that something that you agree with, Danny?
No, yeah, 100%. I mean, if you like the progression stage, if you're not used to doing push-ups and then you come and try to do these workouts at home and you're not used to it, you're definitely gonna, give your body that, stimulus, it's going to get that eustress, it's going to progress. So I definitely see where you're coming from. And also, like you said, time under tension. I've been focusing so much, like I've been trying to put out content having to do with it, because if you're here or if you're home and you're about to go back into the gym 2 months or whatever it's going to be, and you really dial down on time under tension right now, like if you put dumbbells behind that, you will 100% see growth. So if you have a resistance band, or you could do push-ups, squats, and you really just focus on the rep itself and how you're doing it, time under tension, slowing it down, I think they're going to progress during these workouts and then explode if they get back in the gym using weights.
Yep, and I can give you a great example of that. So at the start of this year, because I had about 7 weeks away from training after I did like my sort of bodybuilding type competition, so men's physique and real model. And I gave myself 7 weeks of no training, and I completely went off in terms of good nutrition, all these things, because it was just to prove to people how quickly your body can change if you don't look after it.
Yeah.
And I ended up in it, and I pretty much end up in 7 weeks put on 20 pounds.
Wow.
Right? Yep. And then, so my first day back of training, which was the 1st of January this year, I started squatting again, and it was my aim that, because I'm right now, I'm currently doing a sort of like 4-month cut, so a 17-week cut basically, and it was my aim that by the end of this period, I'd be able to squat, so it would be 140 kg, which is about 308 pounds, right?
Wow. Yep.
So, but to do that for reps, so I was wanting to do at least 10 reps of that. So at the start, I was doing about 242 pounds, right? Because I went, right, I haven't squatted in ages and I need to get myself back into it. So I started at that level. And just by increasing my weights, let's say about like 10 pounds each week. So by, I think it was maybe the start of March, I actually was able to do that 308 pound squats for 3 sets of 10 reps.
Wow.
Right? And then just before the lockdown started here, which is like sort of like the 20th of March, I was actually able to do 319 pounds for 3 sets of 10, right? Mm-hmm. But what I'm trying to get here is that obviously now I'm home, I don't have a rack like that. When I just do negative squats, that's like, so when people listen, that's like slow downward squats then explode back upwards. Doing 3 sets of that, and let's say I might do about 15 reps, my legs are more on fire doing that than they were doing. Do you see what I mean? Where a lot of people wouldn't think that, would they? Right. They would think that, using the big weights and that. But no, doing that is just as hard, or it fries your legs more just because you're slowing that resistance down, and that's what makes it harder. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I was going to ask, does it feel the same or does it feel harder? And that's pretty amazing how just slowing it down like that can just increase that muscle tension, and you can get that fatigue still. It feels like you squatted that same weight. It's pretty amazing.
And I think that's the key thing that people should take with it is getting that muscular fatigue. That's what rips the muscle, so that then you feel it with the right food and you gave yourself enough sleep, and then that's what builds it. So you're right, that's the right word. We need to be doing things. What can we do that's going to give us that muscular fatigue?
Right.
And if that's one thing that people can take away from this podcast, even so far, then that is a great thing. Because all they need to do is just think about, okay, what kind of things can I do that's going to give that tiredness to the muscle? Because then I know I've actually trained it properly.
Right.
And if you don't have the weights, then as you said, a case of maybe hitting it with a bit more reps, changing the tempo. Okay, that's just like slowing the reps down. All these things, these are things that we've got in our arsenal at home. I mean, is that something you agree with?
Yeah, 100%. That's how you can incorporate it. If we don't have these machines anymore, no more dumbbells, we can't use it. So we have to take into account what we're talking about, time under tension, slower reps, and that can still work with body weight. It's fatigue. Yeah. It really is. If you feel that fatigue, it's something good is happening.
Brilliant. No. We think that's going to be very useful for people. And one thing I always say as well is that I think when it comes to these situations where people go, okay, well, I don't have a gym and training at home is very different. This is something we'll get to later as well. But they might just go, well, then what's the point in me like sticking to like good nutrition? And I kind of go, it's actually more important now to stick to good nutrition because let's say the gyms were to go back open in a week's time or even 2 weeks' time or a month's time or 2 months' time, regardless of when it is, when you want to go back, you want to be in shape so you can get back in shape as quickly as possible. So what would you say to someone that would generally think that nutrition isn't as important, or what would you sort of say to them?
I mean, for me, nutrition was really like life changing in terms of progress, in terms of, what I'm actually seeing with happening with my mind, how I think, and just my body. And it's big if I get it, you're not in the gym right now, so 5-6 times a day might not be your go-to at home, but that's fine if your nutrition is in line because you could still progress that way. Nutrition is, people like if you're in off season, you said you do shows, right? So if
Yeah.
you don't, you could take those 4 weeks to stop working out, but if you keep your nutrition in line, you're not gonna gain fat, or you're not gonna you're not gonna digress, you're not gonna go down. So nutrition is huge. If you're not gonna do all the circuit training, TUT, things we talked about, fatiguing your
Yeah.
muscles all the time, if you keep your nutrition in line, then that will definitely put you like a head start. Right when you get back into the gym, you could keep it incorporating, dumbbells, machines, whatever you used to do. But nutrition is a huge part of, just the whole process. People could even have the mindset of, all right, I'm just going to take this break and then I'm going to go back into the gym. And they could go back to the gym, do all their thing, but even still, if their nutrition isn't right, their progress is going to be limited. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
100% agree with that, Danny. And this is actually what I do say to people. I would, and this again shows how important I think nutrition is, and it's actually really important nutrition is in general. I'd rather prefer people ate well and didn't train versus training and not eating well.
I agree.
That is how important nutrition is because the people that aren't training, because they're eating well, they're going to be in much better shape. They're going to be healthier as well, which right now is quite important.
Right, I know.
Whereas if someone just trains and doesn't eat well, they're not going to get even the results that they want. But then also, when they do go back, they're still going to be sluggish. They're not going to progress because in the end of the day, what builds muscle, what keeps us lean, is not necessarily the weights. It's our nutrition because that's what's going to help build the muscle and help us lose body fat is what we put into our system. Just like for people who have got cars, you put the right type of fuel into your car so it can perform. That is the same for us.
Exactly. It's so true. Nutrition is a huge aspect. And definitely, I mean, like you said, now times of uncertainty, unprecedented times, like the food that we eat right now is essential to our health and our immune systems. And like, it's funny, I see all these people like, oh, social distancing, people aren't following the rules, and then they eat like crap. And it's like, okay, you're not really following the rules either. Because if you had your nutrition in line, there's a much better chance that you or the people around you aren't going to catch this virus. And it really is what it is. But
yeah, so I mean, it really comes down to that. It's not even if your reason to have better nutrition is not even necessarily for the gym, you're right.
Right.
It's still you should still have it for your general health and well-being and mentality. Because I think a lot of these times that people are maybe feeling depressed because they can't go to the gym or just because of the situation, at least having the right type of nutrition, that's going to make you feel better in yourself already. You're not going to feel sluggish. And the thing is that right now, we need to make things as better for ourselves as possible. So at least having nutrition in one sort of sense at a better level. I mean, this doesn't mean that we can't enjoy ourselves and have our treats. That's completely fine, but we still need to keep things under control as much as possible. Nutrition is actually one thing that in uncertain times we have almost full control over that. Is that something you agree with?
100%. So when I think of, I mean, even disregarding the virus, what you said about depression and anxiety, if we take a more holistic approach to health using food, that can be very curable. If you think about a patient going to a doctor's office and the doctor's gonna prescribe them something, they're gonna treat they're going to try to treat them, but they're not really treating the person. You know, food nutrition has a more holistic approach on helping the body at a cellular level instead of just really targeting one part of your body that's going to do something, and then that might cause, you know, a side effect, and then you take something for that and that might cause a side effect. But food, if you have the right food in your system, it's going to work on you at a cellular level, at a brain level. You know, your body's going to feel better. You're going to be thinking right, clarity. There's so many benefits to it that, you know, many people don't take advantage of, I feel like.
This is why I honestly think that food is the best medicine that any of us can have if we actually use it in the right way. So that's why I completely 100% agree with what you said there.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's really good stuff there. And as we're sort of going along with this, guys, any sort of questions you've got in terms of like fitness during quarantine times, or just sort of anything in terms of life during quarantine times, feel free to write those down. We'll look to answer these while we're sort of having a chat here as well, because this is to help everyone through this situation. So what type of things are you sort of like missing about sort of pre-lockdown life? And this can be like sort of fitness stuff and just general life stuff as well.
Yeah, so I would probably miss the gym, obviously. But I would probably say going out to eat, maybe. I used to, back at home, back at school, my father would come up, we would crush the gym, crush a workout, and then we would go out to eat. So this whole thing just completely diminished that. But really, it hasn't, you know, online, I miss school, seeing friends, but really, if I'm sure you would agree with it too, if you just have your habits aligned, you could kind of still get the same things done. Like, I look back and I miss that stuff, but I also look back and I'm like, my life really hasn't changed that much at all. I'm even more productive with what I do. I'm doing more things. I'm trying new things. I don't see as many people, and obviously there's uncertainty in the world. But if you just have that clarity and you have your habits aligned, you know, nothing's really going to stunt you. You know, the things out of your control, they're not going to get into your head. So I feel, you know, I do miss certain things, the gym, you know, lifting the iron, you know, going out to eat, seeing friends. But overall, you know, we have social media, we have the platform, we're able to do this, connect like this. So it hasn't changed dramatically, but there's certain things, definitely.
That was actually a fantastic answer, and I'm going to really explain to people why that is. And it's because, right, you pretty much said that when you really do look at it, yes, there's things you miss, but deep down, your life hasn't changed that much.
No.
And the reason for it is because there'll be a lot of people whose lives, or they feel that things have changed so much and they just can't get their head around it, and this is what's adding to the anxiousness, anxiety, fear, all these things. But it's because you said the key word there, you've got your habits aligned to a structure that you do, that you just do it like, so maybe it might be schoolwork, maybe it might be gym, maybe it might be what you do, so social media. You've got your structure of what you do, and this is the thing that most people lack, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if you don't have structure, then everything is chaos. So then when we're in a situation where we are in chaos, no wonder we then feel even more that we can't deal with it. But because you've got structure, you know you're in chaos and there's things that you miss and can't do as much, but it's not completely affecting you to the degree that other people it might affect, because you just go, well, I can't control that, but it's not actually affecting what I do, so I'll just keep on doing that.
Exactly.
So how important do you really feel that you having that structure, and how important do you feel it is that people create a structure in their lives, be it that they wake up, even if it's that they wake up at a certain time, they go out for a run, or they get exercise done, they get their meals sort of planned, they decide to like read a book or do a certain hobby. How important do you think that is for people during this time?
It's extremely important, because once you set up structure throughout your days, it gives yourself purpose. So, you know, so if you have a purpose behind your action, you're going to get it done with more passion, integrity. Like, you're going to want to wake up and do these things. And you're not going to really be thinking too much. Once you place priorities in your life and structured priorities, you're not going to be thinking about all the noise. Like, I hate to say it sometimes, and, I pray for these people that are affected, but I'll go by and I don't even know the virus is going on sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I'll hear it on the radio. I'm like, oh, I completely forgot. It's just because I wake up and I'm, this is step one. This is step two. I'm doing this. I'm reflecting. What can I do better? Like, those are my habits. That's what I do. And I think, to your point, if people can do this, it's going to help them tremendously, think about what they can control and how they can make themselves better, and kind of just forgetting about what they can't control. Like, they can't control the spread of this virus. They really can't, but they can control, how we react to it.
Exactly. No, I loved everything you said there, especially with, like, saying that when you've got structure, it gives you a purpose for your day, it gives you purpose for what you're doing. And I mean, I've recently done a few stories on motivation, because I actually got a message, a DM message from one of actually my old school friends about, like, asking how is it that you get motivated to train or get in shape, and also how is it that you keep motivated. And my simple question really to him was, what is your why?
Exactly. Right. You gotta finish it.
Yeah, but what you said there is having purpose to your day. That is like asking yourself, what is it you want to do with your day?
Right. Yeah.
If people don't ask themselves this question at the start of the day to a degree, then how are they going to have a productive day? How are they going to get through the day? They're going to then think about all these other sorts of things, and that can make it overwhelming. I think this is where things like anxiety and things like that can get magnified, especially when we're in this type of pandemic situation. But because you have got your structure, what you want to do, as you say, you even forget about the noise. There's times you even forget that there's actually maybe a virus going on, because you're so focused on what you need to do. And I think this is why it's so important for people to understand the purpose of having structure, and that having structure gives them purpose. But even with that, I mean, why do you think having like a why to your day or to what you're doing, why do you then think that is actually important for people during these times?
I think people need to be more congruent. What they think, they need to be more like what they actually need to act on. So you have to really, developing a why it's not always easy. And I tell this a lot, you have to get a why to, be motivated. And a lot of people will be like, my why, why am I waking? It's to go to school. But like, is that your why to do that? You have to really find it in yourself to figure out a why that will get you motivated and will get you up. And if it's not working, that's not your why. So I think having just that why will be able to, make you wake up to that alarm, make you actually do that task with, purpose, be able to look back at the end of the day and be like, okay, I took this day and took a step towards fulfilling my why. And, if you failed at the end of the day, that's fine. But at least you could say, okay, I didn't achieve at fulfilling my why, and this is what I'm going to do to help me achieve it tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. It's always a learning process. I'm not always up, man. So I will definitely have downer days. I will, focus on things that I shouldn't focus on. And then I have to stay intact with my why. I'm going to be like, okay, not only my why, but why is this happening to me? Why is this going good? What can I learn from this? So if you play all the puzzles like that, you'll have tremendously productive, purposeful days and just feel a lot better, have clarity. It all goes in line with clarity. Just thinking down the road, thinking farther ahead. It all helps. Finding that why is like the foundation of your life.
Yep, you explained that brilliantly. And again, the reason why having this why is so important, because Danny said that there's even times that he might do certain things and they go, this actually isn't aligned to my why. Then that draws him back. So this is why he can keep on the right path. But if you don't have a why, you can continue going down that wrong path.
Exactly.
And you don't know it's the wrong path. So, and again, I mean, this is where it can get a bit confusing. So I'll try and bring it back. So how is it that we find this why? Danny's why and my why are different. I don't know what Danny's why is, and Danny doesn't know what my why is, but I know that they'll be different. Why are they different? Because we're different people. Different things motivate us. So for you to find your own why, you need to sit back and go, what is it you want to do? Once you know what you want to do, ask yourself, why do you want to do it? Then once you know what that is, ask yourself why that is why you want to do it. Then keep on asking yourself why until you get to a point where you can't answer that anymore. Then that is your true why. So let's use physical fitness again as an example. So with my clients, I might go and say, okay, what is your goal? What is it you want to achieve? And they might go, well, I want to look better. I want to be fitter. Then I go, okay, why?
Why?
Then that usually stumps them because they've never thought at that level. But then they might eventually go, well, I just want to be fitter. I just want to be able to move better. Things like that. I go, okay, why? Then you keep on going to
Right.
Then it might come down to a point where they might say, do you know what? I don't like how I look in the mirror. I don't like how I look when I wear the clothes that I've got, or I want to be able to wear certain clothes, or I want to be around longer for my friends and family, or I want to be able to be active until I'm at an older age. These are your whys. As I said, until you get to a reason where you can stop saying why, that is where you know what your why is. But things, once you understand these reasons, these are things that are going to keep you motivated to do things, not even during lockdown, but way after lockdown.
Right. Right.
Because I think during these times, a lot of people, they do get demotivated with things because they can't maybe go out and see their friends, they can't, or they just don't know what to do. But again, I think that's what it is that important. It's more about the mental side than the physical side, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that does stem from what is your why. I mean, Danny said it is pretty much the foundation anchored to everything that we do. You know, is that something you agree with?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, finding your why is a huge part, and it's funny you said that. It keeps on. It's like a chain reaction. It keeps on going. Like, why? You know, why do you want to look better? Okay, well,
Yeah.
why do you want to do this? So it keeps on going down. But having your why is definitely the foundation, and it doesn't start if you could find your why, or try to find it, but it's not going to really progress if you don't build these habits that we talked about earlier.
Yes.
And so people will be like, okay, I know exactly what I want to do. I feel great about it. This is my purpose. But then it's not easy. Once you find your purpose, once you find your why, it's still going to be very hard, and there's going to be turbulence during that process to get to that why, whatever it's going to be. So building those habits is going to come back and help you wake up and, take on your day, take on your why, and it's going to instill discipline in you that will help you fulfill that why.
Yeah, and this is where it comes down to. So the key to having everlasting motivation, because everyone loves to use the word motivation, the key to having everlasting motivation is, as Danny said there, you need to have your why. Also, as Danny Kush said, you need to have a string of habits that you can do daily or weekly that you always do that are aligned to this why.
Yes. Yes.
Because that's what's going to drive you to actually getting there. So when you've got days where you might feel tired, you might feel you can't be bothered doing it, you'll get the motivation again because you remember why am I even doing this in the first place? Oh, it's because I don't want to be in this situation that I was in, or I don't want to sort of I want to be able to wear the clothes I want to wear. I want to look in the mirror and be proud of what I see. Whatever it is, that's what's going to get you. But then you've got the habits of going, okay, well, if I want this, then I need to make sure that my nutrition's on point. I need to make sure this is why it's all anchored around the why and the habits.
Right. Exactly.
Danny and I are not special. We don't wake up with super lasting motivation, but we have that because we know what our purpose is, and we've got the habits that help align with that keep us going, and that's why we can keep doing this.
Yes.
That is why we look like we're motivated. We're not motivated. We just know why we're doing this.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's 100%. And what you said, on the hardest days when you wake up and you're like, oh, I really do not want to do this. Like on the days where you wake up, you're energetic, you have, you spontaneously go to the gym, you're motivated, you feel good. Sometimes you don't need that why, but when you wake up, you don't feel like you don't feel like doing anything. You need to link back to that why so it could, get you up again, regenerate you, put another different type of energy in you. And so at the end of the day, you could be like, okay, I didn't feel good at all, but I focused on my why, and I got things done. And that's only gonna, be able to help you so much more, is fighting through those hard days that you really just don't want to do anything and staying linked to that why that you talked about.
I'm so agree. And I think we've got, so the Preselto unit, he pretty much agreed to what he said. He said, everyone's excited for the start, but following through is the hardest part. Routine makes it sustainable. Nailed it. Exactly. You're only as good as what you routinely do. This is why people say it's about progress and not perfection. Right. Danny's not perfect. I'm not perfect. But that's not what it's about. It's just that we routinely do what we need to do. This is habit for us. Right. Exactly. I would call it discipline. It's just discipline. Yeah. Habits over time, they're gonna, help you get disciplined. It's kind of like looking on the other side of the spectrum. It's like, smoking a cigarette every day at a certain time, maybe a work break, 9 a.m., you're going to go outside, smoke your cigarette. Okay, you're going to go outside, smoke your cigarette. It's like, we start our days when we go back, when these gyms open, okay, me and you, we're going to go to the gym. Then the next day, go to the gym. Then the next day, like, we make these things a habit, and then it's going to just become discipline. Exactly, that you don't even think about it. Exactly. So that day that we don't go to the gym, it's like, whoa. It's like not smoking our cigarette. You know what I mean? It's like, it's even like, it's on the opposite side of the spectrum, and it's like, that didn't feel good, not going to the gym. That didn't feel good when I ate that crappy meal, when I should have ate that better meal. It's like, once you turn it into a habit, once you turn it into a discipline, you know what to do. And, I like to say common sense isn't common knowledge. Common sense isn't common practice. Sorry. Yeah. So, we might know what to do, but there's kind of this knowledge action gap. But if you just build that habitual routine, you're going to get the discipline to get certain things out of it and continuously go and do these things and progress while doing it. Yeah, spot on. And I actually use in my stories, and we'll see if you like this analogy. So when I was trying to explain like a why and motivation, I pretty much used the analogy of people's favorite food. So what is your favorite food, Danny? Healthy food, or just like? No, just like what? Right. Oh, I love chocolate. Right. Okay, chocolate. So yes, you're like me. Why is it you like chocolate? It's sweet. It's the sugar. I love chocolate. It's just, and it's different from kind of when I'm on my diet, when we're eating right, when you're competing for a show, we don't get that chocolate. So it's like, when I get to have it, it's very good. I love it. And chocolate's got its own flavor. You know what I mean? You could get chocolate covered anything, chocolate's its own domain. It's great. And the reason I've asked that there is just to show people. Yep. There's a reason that chocolate is Danny's favourite food. He's explained it. It's a taste of it. It's got when you put it with different things, it's brilliant. You need to find what your why is with fitness, with everything else in life, and then that will mean that becomes, it might not necessarily become your favourite thing, but you've got a reason for it to be something you want to do. Right. Exactly. Danny's not motivated to eat chocolate. he would eat chocolate because he wants to eat it. Right. But the reason is that it's because he likes the taste of it. So for us to want to do physical fitness or anything else, like say right now we're in lockdown, we want to transfer our time, we should be thinking about, okay, what type of things do I really want to do? Does someone want to learn a language? Does someone want to learn to play the guitar? You need to really think, why do I want to do this? What is my reason for this? And once you know what your reason is, that's the thing that's going to keep you doing it because you want to do it. 100%. Ultimately, no one should be doing something that they don't want to do. 100%. 100%. Yes. Yeah. And I think especially with physical fitness, that's where people go wrong, because maybe they see people on social media, maybe they see people just, maybe if they're in the gym or just out, and they go and see them in shape and they go, I should be in shape as well. That's not the way to do it. They need to want it, but to want it, they need to know why is it that they want it. I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely get what you're saying. The prize is in the process. So
Yes.
a lot of people will start at the gym, and I bet, some of your clients can kind of resonate with this. They're focused on the end goal. They want the six pack. They want, whatever, the bigger body, less body fat. But if you don't enjoy going to the gym, if you don't like the process, like if you don't like eating those healthy foods, I mean, it's really going to only last you so long because you don't like the process. How are you going to last? You don't want to put yourself in an unhappy situation just to get this outcome that, you don't have a really strong why towards. It's kind of like sports. So like I'm in college. I know I have a lot of friends that play sports and I'll take football, for example, American football, and they're going and they're playing, Saturday they have games. That's their game day. That's where they shine. That's where they get their touchdowns. But then Monday through Friday is the process. You got to go to practice every single day. You got to wake up 6 a.m. If you love it, perfect. That's your why. You love it. But if you are waking up dreading this, you gotta find something else. You gotta find another why, because that's not your why. You'll find when you know your why, once you're passionate about it and you wake up and you want to do this.
Exactly. I'll need to steal that one, Danny, because that's a great analogy. But the thing is, because you can use it for any sport, but really, what's so good about that is that it's almost like people only care about the game day. But just being on the field on game day doesn't mean you're ready to play the game.
Right, exactly.
You need to do the training, which is actually you need to do the training on the days leading up to it to even be able to perform the way you want on game day. And that's what makes that so analogous and so poignant and so perfect for the situation of people who want to try and improve their physical fitness.
Right.
You need to do the things in the background before you get the things that outwardly you might want people to see or you might want to have.
Right.
Because it doesn't just come overnight. People that are professional athletes still train so they can perform on game day.
Right.
If we want to be able to perform or have the physique or figure that we have or want to have, we still need to do these things on the Monday to Friday, as you said.
Exactly. Even when we really don't want to.
Yeah, exactly. So this is again why I say that this is actually more of a mental thing than it really is a physical thing. People need to understand what their reasons are to do anything in life. So, I mean, in terms of, you're at school right now as well. You're still doing stuff there. But I mean, is there any sort of things outside of physical fitness that you're trying to do right now as well to improve on?
I'm trying to read a lot more, actually. So I'm in school. It's online now, so I have just been really just trying to dial down and read a lot more, honestly. Reading is for the brain what exercise is for the body. So I'm really trying to dial down on that. I know it's not like a new or challenging type of thing, but for me, I'm trying to spend more time on it. My spirituality, definitely trying to and that aspect of my life, grow that aspect, things like that. But it is a lot of fitness. It is a lot of online, still trying to increase my content and things like that.
But really, what I'm trying to really draw from that is that it's just showing that you are still trying to develop yourself even during these times.
Right. My whole thing is self-development, self-betterment. If there's a
Improvement,
way to improve, I'm going to try to do it. I think too many people are, scared of failure, and they think, okay, if I'm going to try this, I might fail and I'm going to get rejected. And so I'm not going to really do that. I'm not going to dabble with that. But if they do, it could be life-changing for them, and they don't really know it's because of that fear factor. But yeah, just trying new things. I think this whole quarantine thing is a huge opportunity for people to start, doing different things that they never thought they would try to do before. Start cooking, start baking, maybe I'm trying to read, maybe someone else, like start an online business, a makeup tutorial video, like whatever you want to do, whatever you feel yourself would be passionate about and would actually persevere. Like, you could be like, you would wake up to this and want to do it. Too many people wake up to things that they do not want to do at all. And it's like, wow. It like boggles me. It's like wow. Like I do, and that's part of my why. Like I look at some of those people, unfortunately, and I'm like, God, please do not let me be that way when I'm 40, 50. Like I need to love life, and that's part of the reason why I'm working now, to find my why, find what I want to do, and just kind of perfect that and see where it takes me. But it's just finding what you do and like why you want to do something is huge. It all comes back to the why, pretty much.
Yeah. One thing I want to draw from that, because I think it's a very important thing, is what you said, the fear of failure. And I'll use an analogy of the gym here to show why failure is required for success.
Yeah.
If we're going to gym to try and improve our bodies, we need to tear our muscles down. But the act of tearing our muscles down means we need to put our muscles to failure or close to failure. Right. Okay, we need to put them into a position that they are not used to.
Yeah.
We need to take our muscles past their comfort zone.
That's true.
In order to elicit any extra growth.
So true.
We are the very same as people. If we do not put ourselves in situations that we're not comfortable in, or if we don't do things that challenge ourselves, if we don't do things that are new, then how are we ever going to improve, get better? And as Danny said that because people in general are scared to fail at things because they may fear other things, or they just don't want to look like they failed to other people. That is them limiting themselves. They should be doing things for themselves. Other people shouldn't come into it.
Right.
Because what you said before, that's a great why. Danny said that he doesn't want to. He looks at other people and see that they are doing things that they don't want to do, and they're doing that day in, day out, and that's their life. Danny's like, I don't want that for my life. I want to live life. I want to enjoy, because we've only got one life.
Right.
Do you know? This is why these things are powerful motivators. But it's only until people want to actually get out of the situation they're in, when it becomes that unbearable mentally for them, they just go, there must be more to life than this, or things have got to be better than this. Understanding what your why is, and actually going after it, actually trying to build habits aligned with that is what's going to actually get you away from what you don't want and closer to what you do want. I mean, is that something you agree with?
100%. What you just said was really resonated with me, or correlating your why with your habits. Those need to be hand in hand together and really in harmony for you to see and try to develop those habits. And it's not going to be easy. We're going to hit adversity, failures, like you said, but that's just going to only propel us. And, that's going to help us grow. And if we, do these other things like you talked about, out of our comfort zone, challenging, we as humans we always think, oh, what's going to go wrong out of this? Oh no, I don't know if I could do that because of what she thinks, or I don't know if I could do that because that might happen to me, and then that might mess up that opportunity. Like it can't be like that. You always have to be open-minded about what can happen, the possibilities that are going to happen that's going to help your future. And again, it's coming back to your why. You got to find a positive why out of a certain circumstance. You could find a why out of literally every action you do. Yeah. So if you could find a good one for getting out of your comfort zone and, limiting that belief of other people's opinions and, the negative emotions, and kind of just focusing more on, oh, this is going to help me grow as a person, win or lose. This is going to help me grow, anything, any endeavor. And I think we need to kind of shift our perspective that way, and that would help us get out of that, comfort zone.
Yeah, no, 100% spot on. So again, it just really comes down to show that we need to get that drive from ourselves, but we can only get that drive from ourselves once we actually understand why it is we want to do it.
Right.
But when you understand why it is you want to do something, we actually can become very strong-willed, can't we?
Yeah,
they can start to forget about even thinking about what other people may or not think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even put it this way, the fact I'm doing this sort of like a live chat podcast with you here, if, let's say, a year and a half ago, someone said that I'd be doing some of this, I wouldn't have believed them. I'd be like going, that's not the type of thing I'd want to do, or I can't see myself doing that. And even when I did start it, I could have easily thought, well, what happens if people don't watch or people don't look? I could have thought all these things, but at the end of the day, why do I not care about that? Because I'm here to do this, to connect with people like yourself, but also to give other people this type of inspiration, knowledge of how to get out of these situations. And if even I just helped one person, it's all worth it. So again, it comes back to stop thinking about what can go wrong, but start thinking about what can go right, because that's why you're doing it.
Yeah, I love that. That's good. How you used it for this podcast too. That was good. Yeah, exactly. That's 100%. You know, we could, any situation that really isn't familiar with us in our past, we have that tendency, just like you were talking about, to be like, oh, I don't know what they're going to think, or I don't know how I'm going to do. But staying focused on your why is extremely important. Just like you said, that's an awesome why. You just want to connect with people. And if you could just help one person out, like, that's an amazing why. That's why you were messaging me all throughout the week to get ready for this. And like, that's your why. Like, that's what people have to understand, that it's not just they're seeing this. There's a process that goes into it that you need to prepare for, and you've done other podcasts, and you're reestablishing your why. You know, your habits are aligning with what's in your head, and it's a prime example. You know what I mean? So that's good. That's good. Good for you.
Yeah, no, brilliant there. So, yeah, this has really been a really good sort of like podcast episode here, and anyone that sort of wants to see it, it'll be up on my YouTube channel. So that'll be on my sort of Instagram page for people that are watching this on Instagram Live. If you're watching it on YouTube already, then you already know this. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I actually want to get you on again, Danny, because I think there's a lot more we can sort of extract from you, and also just maybe other things that you've sort of seen during this quarantine time, you know, because I think we've sort of like managed to sort of gel quite well, because like we've known each other on Instagram for quite a while, but this has been the first time we've actually sort of done a sort of collab like this as well. But this is the whole point. Again, comes back to what Danny said before. It's about trying new things, reaching out to other people. We're in an age here where we've got the technology that even though we can't physically see each other, we can still communicate. I mean, Danny's in Florida, I'm in Edinburgh, Scotland, you know? We've got the technology to do any of these things, so we need to utilize this, and I think it also comes down to we should be doing things that help benefit other people, because that's how we can bring each other together, and that's so important in these times. Is that something quickly that you can sort of, that you agree with? Yeah. So
true, man. So I think a lot of people, and a lot of what you're doing is helping other people, and I think that's part of our mission as well, being, you know, trainers online, and kind of what you talked about before, you know, having this platform. Like you said, you're in Scotland, I'm in Florida. Like, this is crazy, you know, and like someone 50 years ago would look at this and be like, what is going on right now? But it's amazing how we can make this impact, and not only that, we can connect, but we can, you know, influence others with our words, our actions, what we're doing. You know, a habit that we have, or a why that we have, can kind of get into the mind of a viewer and be like, oh, you know, what if I, you know, started doing this a different way to focus and reiterate my why that way? And then they're going to start doing it, and maybe a family member of theirs starts doing it. And then it's like, oh, then their friend, it's like a chain reaction. And it all kind of does start with like social media. That's why I'm like, it's amazing what, you know, we're able to do if we use it wisely. So this podcast, our content on social media, it's amazing, and it helps us serve others, especially in times like this. You know, uncertainty, things out of our control are getting in our heads, sneaking in our minds when they shouldn't be. So I hope, you know, our messages and what we relay on the people will help them get through it.
Yeah, brilliant. And I think that's a sort of great way to sort of like end this sort of initial live. I mean, as I said, I actually do want to get you sort of back on sort of another episode of Quarantine Fitness and Life, because I think there's a lot more sort of value we can sort of extract from you in this. But anyone who is sort of like watching this will be available on my Instagram stories as a replay for the next 24 hours. So if you've just joined sort of at the end here, you can sort of like watch it again, watch the replay, and sort of see the sort of things that we've talked about here that I think will really help benefit people during this sort of like lockdown times. But yep, so this has been me, so Nana Double O Physique Creation, and this is Danny Cavallaro at Danny Cavs _fit. So I'd urge you guys to sort of give him a follow and see sort of the content he's doing and the inspirational messages that he's putting out there. This is the main reason why I want to sort of have him on my sort of like live show as well. So as I said, I'll look to get you back on for another one of these. But have a good rest of the day. Get the sort of like schoolwork sort of done, you know, and keep it going, because you're on a great path. I wish I knew as much as you did when I was 20, because I'm going to be like 37 this year. So just keep on the inspirational path here. And yeah,
age is just a number, man. Age is just a number.
Exactly. But yeah, as I said, I'll look to sort of get you back on for another one of these lives. But your contribution's been really good here, so I do sort of appreciate that, and I thank you for sharing your time with us.
Thanks for having me on. Thanks for having me on. Keep doing these podcasts. I watch them. I like them. Yeah, I would definitely like to come on, talk a little more, see what other insight people could get from us.
No problem. Okay, so that is the end of episode 5 of Quarantine Fitness and Life, this time with Danny Cavallaro, who is at Danny Cavs _fit on Instagram. So we'll see you guys later. Cheers for that, Danny.
All right, man. See you later. Thank you.
No problem. Cheers.